Hello, people. I know. 3 videos in one day. I know the end of the world is coming. I know. This one's more on the anniversary of this being the Civil War's Battle of the Wilderness / Pennsylvania Courthouse. And I figured I might as well kill a few books on the subject. Mainly because I'm trying some mood. I'm sure people like that. I also told you I want to make this YouTube thing more than just once a week. So anyway, starting the Battle of the Wilderness, May 5th to 6th, 1864, which would be the anniversary of the book that I've heard. Must be, it's been around for a while. So, and the other one, the part 2 of it would be that one, the Battle for Spotsylvania Courthouse and the Road to Yellow Tavern, May 7th to the 12th, 1864. Civil War is a fascinating history, people. I mean, it's a shame it's not being really taught anymore. It's a shame that politics is once again destroying history. But the Civil War is fascinating. Before it started, during the battles, the personalities. I mean, the fact that it took so long to find a general who actually said, no, we're not retreating, we're going to go forward. Unlike, a few other generals who didn't quite understand that concept. However, your connection is unstable, thank you. I don't know why the connection's unstable. It shouldn't be unstable. I think it's because of the room, though. I think that's part of why it's stable. But anyway, The Landscape Turned Red, which was a book by Stephen Sears about the Battle of Antietam, I believe, the first book on the Battle of the Civil War I ever read. I don't think I discovered Bruce Cotton yet, but I thought I'd show a few books of people who are at the battle that I have and I could find right off the bat. There is no organization in this room, people. There is in brief little pockets, but for the most part, if I had to go around looking for every book that might be related to this particular battle or somebody in this particular battle, yeah, no thank you. Maybe next time. Maybe I'll be better organized in the next battle I produce, which will probably be Gettysburg. That will make Paula happy. She loves Gettysburg. That's because her buddy, General Hancock, is Hancock the Superb. Anyway, General A.P. Hill. I also have his book on Stonewall, but Stonewall was dead by now. He'd been killed last year. And Chancellorsville. General A.P. Hill, The Story of a Confederate Warrior. Interesting guy. The last major general of the Confederacy to die in the war. He would die a year later. He would get killed later. And, I think it was at Five Forks, I think. Five Forks? I'll have to check. I don't think it's Five Forks now that I think about it. I know Ewell was captured at Five Forks. Or Chamberlain. Our buddy Chamberlain. This is his book, Passing of the Armies. Joshua Lawrence Chamberlain. Interesting guy. I have 3 other books of this series. I think there's 3 more I'm trying to find. But he was there. He was at the Battle of the Wilderness. Of course, Grant was there, saying, I'm not moving, I'm going forward. I am not going backwards, and you can't make me. But I like Grant. Grant is pretty cool. That's one of the books I have on him. Civil War is interesting for a lot of reasons because, yeah, it was about slavery, but it was also about kind of country we wanted to be. I mean, it was boring. Yeah, the other history teacher I took was interesting. But this other guy, I'm sorry, he made history boring, which takes a lot of effort to make history boring for me. Okay, Soul of the Lion, the biography of Joshua Lawrence. The Sword of Lincoln, the Army of the Potomac. This is a good book. This is an excellent book. I would recommend this book. Very good book. But, I mean, the Civil War was literally 2 countries. The South was a separate, it had a separate country mentality. To them, their states were their country, not the Confederacy itself. And I think if they hadn't, I'm sorry, folks, but he was an asshole. He was a complete incompetent, I'm sorry. But Jefferson Davis never should have been allowed to be president of anything. He didn't know what he was doing. He was he was a bureaucrat. He was a pencil pusher. He was a micromanager. Now, when he put Lee in charge, that was probably one of the few good things he'd correct. General Longstreet, my favorite Confederate general. I like Longstreet. I do. I like this book. I like Longstreet. He was shot in the Battle of the Wilderness by his own. I don't think. Well, unlike Stonewall, who was shot by his own men by accident. I don't remember. I don't think Longstreet. 1904. So he did survive. Very interesting guy. Tried to tell Lee the third day of Gettysburg. Bad idea. What doomed Lee was his hubris. But anyway, Custer, good book. We did this book at my history group meeting. That really was a fun group, if you know what I mean. There was a lot of contention about Mr. Custer. But, overall, he was an interesting guy. He was full of it, but he was interesting. He definitely wasn't boring. Mosby's Rangers. It's all the same author, by the way, Jeffrey Ward. Another good book. The Brotherhood of Valor, the Common Soldiers of the Stonewall Brigade and the Iron Brigade. Another excellent book. I mean, these are just books on the Civil War, but also of people who actually fought in the Battle of the Wilderness and Spotsylvania. I mean, I find history fascinating. I find the Civil War history fascinating because of the personalities, the reasons they were fighting. There aren't very many good Civil War movies, though. I mean, yes, Glory is a very good movie. Gettysburg, I think, is a very good movie. Gods and Generals, its prequel is I know I'm missing one. Andersonville is a good movie. I mean, my dog is coming in my room. I'm going to pick up and show you something like I did last time. These are the other books I have of my Civil War series. Can you see them? Fast last time. All good books. This is all the books I have on this. I managed to be in one place at one time. Puppets, you want to go outside at the road? I'm getting that look like I want to go outside, so take me outside before I do my business in the house. All right, just a minute. I may end up having a walker. Just a minute. Look at the sign or something. Come here, Penny. Come here. Go outside. Well, that should last about 5 minutes, maybe. Anyway, I mean, if McClellan had been in charge of the Union at any other battle after Antietam, or actually after, Antietam, we would have lost, which we almost lost. McClellan was a pencil pusher. I'm sorry, he was. And Burnside just was over his head. And Hooker just lost his nerve. I mean, people seem to forget something. He was never fired. He won the Battle of Gettysburg. Not Grant, because Grant was in Vicksburg at the time. He was never fired. He was still in charge of the army. Grant was just in charge of all the armies. I mean, this is a good book, by the way. I didn't mean not to show that one. Hopefully I walked by slow enough with the other books. You saw some of them. I have others. I have lots of others. I would literally have to dishevel a lot of things to get to them. Maybe my next review on the anniversary of a battle, I will be a little more prepared. This is a spur of the moment thing because I took note that it was the anniversary of the Battle of the Wilderness. The Civil War was about what kind of country we were going to become. It was. We're either going to be free or slave. We were either going to try to follow what the Constitution says and the Bill of Rights, or we are going to become two separate nations, and eventually we are going to become two separate countries. I'm in the South. I think one of the mistakes the South made was they tried to justify states' rights with slavery. Once they did that, they were doomed. You cannot justify slavery. I don't care. You can't justify anything of enslaving another human being over states' rights. It'll always be about stage rights. It'll always be about slavery. The problem is, to me, they're meshed. They're together. They cannot be separated. But anyway, do have some books on Lincoln. I guess I should have gotten that one. I have Malice Toward None on Lincoln. I have another book on Lincoln. For some reason, I can't find a book on Lee, and I know I had one, which I would have shown it. But you saw the little list of the little shelf with the. Well, some of these books actually do end up where they belong as a group, and some don't. Because it's also the anniversary of the Battle of Coral Sea in World War II, and I cannot find that book. It's in here somewhere. It's a small paperback. It's one of those Jove classic books. I love the Jove classic war books and the Bantam war books. But anyway, I'm just going to cut this off now. I'm going to try to do a little bit better next time on my next history one. I'm just trying to lighten up the mood for those other two videos. But anyway, have a good day, people. Behave yourselves, because as I keep saying, I'm not going to, and I'm never going to. Later.